What's up guys, it's Everett here. In this video we're going to cover 2 mobility movements to improve your Cossack squat. So Cossack squats are great for building up adductor strength and they're getting pretty popular. I don't use them a whole lot, but I will throw them in my programs for maybe 3 to 4 weeks, run them, increase the weight, and then switch over to something else. So just by looking at the movement, you can tell it's kind of like a pseudo split, like a moving split and a single leg squat. So you're gonna need a lot of adductor or groin flexibility. So if you don't have that, I already have a video on some stretches for your adductors. I'll put it up here or in the description. Now, I oftentimes make the distinction between flexibility and mobility. So mobility means you're moving, which means you need to have the flexibility in the first place to move in and out of. But a lot of people just get flexible and they can't use all that flexibility. And the Cossack squat is a movement. So we need the flexibility, but then we gotta be able to move in and out of that range of motion or pause and contract the muscles and be stable. So mobility builds on flexibility, but you just can't stop at flexibility. So 2 movements, let's hop into them. So movement number 1, I am in the 90-90 position. So this movement really helps out the side that you're squatting with in the Cossack squat. So when you're doing that Cossack squat, that single leg squat, you're gonna be requiring hip flexion, abduction, and external rotation. So we're loaded up in the 90-90 position. This is actually one of the videos in my hip mobility e-course, which I have on my website, link in the description. But I actually took this section of that course and threw it on YouTube. It was the very first video I ever put up on YouTube. So watch that video for the full rundown on how to use this position the best. But it's called the 90-90 because we have 2 90-degree bends behind each knee. We're gonna sit nice and tall on the hips, torsos, nice and upright. And now from here, we're gonna push this front knee into the ground. And you can either brace with the hands back like this, or if you have the, again, flexibility, this position isn't pushing you backwards, you can sit upright and maybe do a little jujitsu gable grip. Now what we're gonna do here is we're gonna push into the big toe on the back foot, which will lift the heel and the knee. And from here, without, again, letting this knee come up, we're going to rotate open just like that. So I'm really squeezing in my hip and the side glute muscles, external rotation. And at the end here, I can actually pull up like so, slide my foot up, slide back down, and then once again, internally rotate, all right? So if you get some cramping or muscle spasms here, that's pretty normal. So again, a lot of people when they move into the Cossack squat, they end up compensating or cheating that movement just to get lower. This is really gonna isolate, once again, that hip flexion, bent hip, external rotation, and then abduction, meaning opening up the leg, which you need to do a proper Cossack squat, especially to depth and with weight or for reps. So it's gonna show you dramatic differences from the left to right side, and it's gonna make sure that in the normal Cossack squat, you're not cheating. Some people get better doing Cossack squats just by doing them more and more. Other people, again, they rely on other parts of their bodies to kind of assist that movement. So this is just isolating what that hip's gonna be doing. So you could do this on your off days, mobility days, maybe at the end of a session when you're doing some like the cool down work, and just knock out like 3 sets of 5 per side and really do a hard contraction right at the end. It's also easier without shoes because your heel can clear when you're rotating the hip. So once again, sit up nice and tall, get braced in your abs and get some tension everywhere, just like you would if you're doing a Cossack squat with weight. Crush this leg, this knee into the ground using the front glute muscles. Push the big toe into the ground, lifting the heel and the knee. And then once again, rotate open as far as you can, hold and squeeze, and then rotate back down just like that. So that's gonna build up a lot of strength and control right at the end range with that flexion, abduction, and external rotation. So let's hop into the second move, and it's gonna be for the leg that's staying straight in the Cossack squat. Okay, so now as I said, this is gonna be focusing on the straight leg of the Cossack squat, which obviously, I mentioned at the beginning, it looks like a pseudo split, which means you're gonna need to have very flexible adductors or groin muscle. But what a lot of people miss is the mobility aspect, and that's the muscles and the tissues that are getting shorter in that position and helping you move back and forth from side to side. So just stretching, doing like, splits training on the floor isn't gonna be the end all be all. We gotta add a little bit of movement training in with that that as well. So we're gonna be in the quadruped position, which is on all fours, just like so. So you're gonna wanna have your fingers spread, the palms right underneath the shoulders, and the hips right underneath the knees. So we're gonna throw one leg out. So again, it's already starting to look like a Cossack squat. I'm just leaning forward onto my knee. Now, very, very important that we don't compensate with other parts of our body to make this movement larger than it actually is. So the way we're gonna avoid that is, again, maintaining pressure in the palms and in this knee, and we're gonna breathe deeply in the stomach, almost like, it's a little mean, but like you're about to take a kick on the ground. Really, really tight, or like you're about to do a plank and someone's gonna put 200 pounds on your back. So you are tight here. Your face might get red. My face is definitely gonna get red, all right? So even hips, we got the leg out to the side, we're gonna breathe in deep, and then we're gonna lift that foot directly off the ground using all of these side glute muscles and abductors, external rotators. So here we go, it's gonna look like this. Big breath, tight, 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 and lift off the ground and hold. All right, how long you hold is completely up to you. You could do lifts and just distinct pause, back down, do reps, 3 sets of 10 per side, or you could do holds and do something like 3 sets of 5-second holds, 3 sets of 10-second holds. Again, if it's too easy, grab the old yoga block and start in a much higher position like so and lift off. Now, we're gonna go through some possible compensations because a lot of people can actually get here if you have an athletic background, but you're gonna be doing a lot of weird stuff. So once again, when we lose tension in the abs, essentially what you'll start to do with the back is you'll go into a like cow position or a camel position from yoga, and that's gonna help you lift that leg higher than it should be. But we don't want to be moving the spine when we're loaded up with weight doing Cossack squats at the end of a workout. So this needs to maintain rigidity. Another very simple thing people do, and you already probably see this as potentially happening, is people just kind of lean over to the side. So now we're not shortening up this range of motion, these tissues, we're just lifting the entire leg off the ground by leaning to the side. The point is to keep everything sturdy, contract here, shorten up the angle here, and lift that leg. So if you're leaning or arching your back too much, first what you can do is get loaded up against a wall so you can't move, and then you can also grab like a second yoga block, throw it on your back, and you're gonna feel that start to move around or even fall off, okay? So again, if you need to start with just being on the ground, some of you might need to get a couple yoga blocks and put one underneath the knee, the hand, and have this foot on the ground like that, so that way it's even easier. It's a regression. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just based on who you currently are with your range of motion and your mobility and what you're trying to do. So watch the back, watch the lean, and again, this is really great for building up the strength of these shortened tissues for the Cossack squat. Okay guys, so there you have it, 2 movements to mix in with your stretching and maybe even some of your workouts to build up better mobility. Again, this is training. It's not just one weird move that you do here and there. You need to program it in with your current routine and be consistent with it as always. So once again, thank you for watching. If you have a quick second, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and hit the like button if you liked the video. That really helps YouTube bring more people to this video. And the point of these videos is to help people out with their movements, potentially maybe if they're getting injuries or tweaks, not feeling good, getting discouraged from not moving very well. It's to help out all those people, you included. And once again, I've got my full hip mobility e-course. So if you've got 29 bucks and you want to start training your hips seriously, I got 16 videos in order on my website, link in the description. But until the next video, thank you and see you then.